Hi everybody, this is the Football Hood, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, the Hood. Welcome back to the Football Hood, and hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So as you know, if you don't know, there was a big trade on Wednesday between the Steelers and the Cowboys, and we're going to get into this. This is a massive trade, and it really does a lot of things for both teams. Let's get into it. And of course, wide receiver George Pickens was traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Dallas Cowboys. The George Pickens trade from the Steelers to the Cowboys remains a hot topic, and for a lot of people, fans, analysts, insiders, and everybody has a different reaction. The trade was finalized on May 7th, and the Cowboys acquired Pickens and a 2027 sixth-round pick in exchange for the 2026 third-round pick of the Cowboys and a 2027 fifth-round pick for the Cowboys. And there's a lot of excitement. The positive reactions for the Cowboys, or from the Cowboys, is that they have a wide receiver duo. And many Cowboys fans and analysts are thrilled about pairing Pickens with CeeDee Lamb, who's a great wide receiver, creating one of NFL's most formidable receiver tandems. I mean, really, and Pickens' deep threat ability and contested catch prowess and his ability to catch the ball is going to be it's going to be something that people are going to be very excited about. And a lot of people, like, say, Craig Carton, called the trade highway robbery and a phenomenal deal for Dallas. And the Cowboys now have a top-tier wide receiver duo, rivaled by only a few teams. And a lot of fans expressed unbridled enthusiasm, posted, yes, Lord, celebratory, and people celebrating, going crazy, and, of course, reflecting optimism about the offensive push and boost that Dak Prescott is going to get as quarterback. And people are very excited. This was an aggressive move by Jerry Jones, who's 97 years old. And a lot of people are praising this move by the owner for making and it's a bold move after passing on receivers in the draft. I mean, he passed on a lot of good receivers, a lot of young receivers, and he made this trade. And a lot of people acknowledge Jones' aggressiveness, knowing that Pickens' talent for splash plays is undeniable, even if his consistency and decision-making are questioned. The trade is seen as a response to Dallas' lackluster 7-10 season in 2024 and their 21st ranked passing offense, which fans suggest the Cowboys' win total could easily surpass 7.5 with Pickens' addition. Well, it should. You got another threat out there for a very good quarterback. You would think that will help them. Now, what's the potential for him being in Dallas and just the whole thing? People argue that Dallas' culture and Prescott's leadership could help Pickens mature. And we'll see on that. You never know about people. Addressing his past volatility. See, the trade is giving Pickens a fresh start where he can thrive as a player and as a man, as a human being. Especially with a stable quarterback like Prescott, unlike the revolving door of quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. Oh, Russell Wilson was with the Giants, and Justin Fields is with the Jets. And these are guys that he played with in Pittsburgh. Concerns about his contract year linger, with users and a lot of people believing uneasy about the lack of a long-term extension plan. But we'll see when we get close to a training camp. Now, what are some of the concerns and the criticism the Cowboys are getting? His behavioral issues. This is Pickens' issues with his behavior. A significant portion of people are, conversing on Pickens' history of on-field incidents, such as unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, a scuffle with Browns Greg Newsome the second, and a face mask incident with Cowboys Jordan Lewis in 2024. People call Pickens one of the biggest head cases in the NFL, warning that move from Mike Tomlin's disciplined coaching to what they perceive as a weak Cowboys culture. Well, the Cowboys have not been good for a very long time. Could easily amplify his issues. They also predict to be unhappy with fewer targets behind Lamb, potentially leading to locker room drama. And people say there is some, cost to, in terms of the trade and the contract situation. Some fans question whether Dallas overpaid for a one-year rental, given Pickens' final year of his rookie contract, which is $3.65 million in 2025, and no extension plans. Doesn't seem like the Cowboys want to sign him. A lot of people note the risk of Pickens leaving in free agency in 2025 if he underperforms, with the Cowboys losing a valuable third-round pick for minimum return. Additionally, his representation, I guess by David Maguda, also Micah Parsons' agent, raises eyebrows due to Jones's straight comments about Maguda during Parsons' extension talks. And I can see if there's a cultural fit, and there are concerns. People have skepticism from other teams about Adam Pickens due to his locker room impact. Well, we'll see. Some people share Albert Breer's analysis, emphasizing the need to understand what went wrong in Pittsburgh to keep his train on the tracks in Dallas. A lot of people worry whether new coach Brian Schottenheimer can manage Pickens' personality, especially after Tomlin's public calls for him to grow up following penalties in 2024. Uh-oh, that's never good. But, sometimes when you play for a coach, the coach and the player tend to smooth it out. And there's a lot of frustration by the Steelers and their fans, and they're angry at the team direction. The Steelers fans are vocal about their disappointment, with people saying that the trade, part of the worst roster of the Tomlin era, and criticize a chaotic, confusing offseason. A lot of fans lament losing Pickens, who led the team with 900 receiving yards this past year, especially after trading for DK Metcalf and partnering with other 2024 leaders like Najee Harris and Russell Wilson. The sentiment is that Pittsburgh's offense is regressing and users question the plan behind Calvin Austin III, Roman Wilson, and Robert Woods as the top returning receivers. Now, what's interesting is what's Tomlin's role in the decision. Some people believe that Tomlin was the driving force behind the trade, the sign that the Pickens rehabilitation project needed to end a year early. And a lot of fans are split. Some respect Tomlin cutting ties with volatile players, while others have not. Outweighing his issues, and trading him for a third-round pick is underwhelming for a player with wide receiver one potential. They fear, and a lot of people fear, placing him via the draft will be futile, as Tomlin rarely plays rookies early. And then there's Aaron Rodgers. Trade fuels speculation about Aaron Rodgers potentially joining the Steelers, but post-noting Tomlinson's decision may have been to avoid a clash between Rodgers and Pickens' very strong personalities. A lot of people have debated whether the trade makes Rodgers' job harder without Pickens, or easier by removing a distraction. Well, especially with Metcalf as a new wide receiver at number one. But frustration persists about the Steelers' improving receiver depth and lack of a clear quarterback plan, with only Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, and rookie Will Howard currently on the roster. Now, what are people saying about it? How they reacting? A lot of people rate them all kinds of things. Some people are giving high grades to the Cowboys, praising the creation of a dynamic duo while acknowledging Pittsburgh's solid return. At the same time, questions have arisen if Dallas can manage Pickens-Atkins, given Pittsburgh's credit for securing future assets, but highlighting the immediate offensive downgrade. Fans engage with all this talk and stuff, with some agreeing Dallas won short term, while others see Pittsburgh long term draft capital as a smarter move. Who knows? Now, what are the Steelers going to do? A lot of people speculate Pittsburgh could use their 2026 third-round picks, including the one from Dallas, to trade for a veteran receiver like DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, or Romeo Dubes. And a lot of people have said, suggest the Steelers focuses on a long-term competitiveness, possibly targeting a quarterback for their franchise in 2026. But a lot of people remain skeptical about replacing Pickens' reduction in 25, especially after failing to address the position in the 2025 draft. Now, the playoff push, this is what people are talking about. For Dallas, posts and people are saying frame the trade as a win-now move, aligning with their NFC East arms race against the teams like the Eagles. For the Steelers, the trade is seen as a step back by 2025 playoff hopes. It certainly is. The fans worried about a tougher schedule and an offense overly reliant on Metcalf and a tight end Pat Freiermuth. contrasting team directions. The Cowboys are going all in, and the Steelers are going back. Well, we're going to find out very quickly. People have sort of these different emotions when a big trade happens, and we're not going to know until the games start. We're going to see how Pickens plays with Lamb and how he's able to handle having a really good quarterback, a stable situation with a good quarterback, and we're going to see how the Steelers do, and are they going to go and sign Aaron Rodgers? And that's a drama in and of itself. But you let me know what you think about this video, and of course, please subscribe to the Football Hut, and I'll see you later.